When we look up at the night sky, we're often reminded of just how small we are in the grand scheme of things. Our Earth is just a tiny blue dot floating around in the vastness of space. But despite our small size, humans have managed to do some truly amazing things, like exploring the surface of the moon and sending spacecraft to other planets in our solar system. There's one thing that has always set us apart from other animals on this planet, though, and that's our curiosity. We're constantly asking questions about the world around us and beyond. And it's this curiosity that's driven us to explore and discover new things. It's what led us to develop the technology that allows us to communicate with each other across continents, and what's allowed us to learn more about the universe than any other species. But perhaps most importantly, it's our curiosity that's allowed us to reach for the stars and explore the great beyond. It takes a special kind of person to be able to leave everything they know and love behind and venture into the unknown. These are the people who are willing to take risks and push themselves beyond their limits in order to achieve something that seems almost impossible. They're the ones who dare to dream big and never give up, no matter how difficult things get. So, here are 6 astronauts who dared to reach for the stars. Number 6. Alan Shepard. On May 5, 1961, an American astronaut named Alan Shepard became the first human being to travel into outer space. His journey into space was a momentous occasion, not just for him but for all of humanity. At that time, the United States and Soviet Union were locked in a fierce competition to see who could achieve what first in the area of space exploration. The Soviets had already launched the first satellite into orbit, and they were well on their way to landing the first person on the moon. So when Shepard finally made his journey into space, it was a huge relief for the Americans and a major propaganda victory for the US in the space race. Shepard's journey into space was also a personal triumph. He had been selected to be part of the first group of astronauts in 1959 and had undergone rigorous training to prepare for his mission. When he finally made it into space, he did so with grace and courage. As his Mercury capsule streaked through the sky, he was met with an incredible view of the Earth below. He described it as nothing short of spectacular. In addition to being an astronaut, Shepard was also a skilled pilot, and he put those skills to use during his mission. He was able to maneuver his capsule with precision, making it a textbook perfect flight. He also showed incredible restraint when things didn't go according to plan. When his capsule began to spin uncontrollably after re-entry, Shepard was able to calm down and regain control, ultimately landing safely in the ocean. Shepard's journey into space was a true inspiration for all of humanity. He showed us what can be accomplished with determination, hard work, and a willingness to take risks. He also showed us the incredible beauty of our planet and the amazing things that are possible when we set our minds to it. No. 5. Yuri Gagarin. Yuri Gagarin was a Soviet cosmonaut and the first human to journey into outer space. His pioneering voyage on April 12, 1961, marked a pivotal moment in the history of space exploration and catapulted him to international prominence as a hero of the communist era. Born in 1934 in the village of Klushki near Moscow, Gagarin's early life was shaped by the hardships of World War II. Despite facing numerous obstacles, including a lack of access to education and discrimination due to his rural background, Gagarin excelled in school and developed a passion for science and engineering. In 1955, Gagarin joined the Soviet Air Forces and became a fighter pilot, where he distinguished himself as a skilled and courageous aviator. While serving as a flight instructor, he met the renowned Soviet Cosmonaut Selection Committee chairman, Nikolai Kamanin, who recognized his potential for space travel. In 1960, Gagarin was selected as part of the second group of Soviet cosmonauts, undergoing rigorous physical and psychological tests, training, and evaluation. He displayed exceptional aptitude and was chosen to be the first human to journey into outer space. On April 12, 1961, at the age of 27, Gagarin successfully completed a single orbit around the Earth in the Soviet spacecraft Vostok 1, lasting 108 minutes. During his historic flight, Gagarin reportedly experienced 12 to 14 times the force of gravity upon re-entry and endured temperatures as high as 160 degrees Celsius before parachuting safely to Earth. His successful mission marked a significant milestone in the space race between the United States and Soviet Union and established the Soviet Union as a leader in space exploration. Gagarin's bravery, skill and determination in the face of extraordinary challenges continue to inspire awe and admiration. Number 4. John Glenn. On February 20, 1962, John Glenn became the first American to orbit the Earth, making history and inspiring generations to come. Born in Cambridge, Ohio, on July 18, 1921, Glenn's journey to becoming an astronaut was marked by both triumph and tragedy. After graduating from Muskingum College, he served as a pilot in the U.S. Marine Corps during World War II, participating in more than 100 combat missions. Following the war, Glenn continued to serve in the Marine Corps Reserve while pursuing a career in politics, eventually becoming a U.S. Senator from Ohio. Despite the demands of his political career, Glenn's passion for aviation and space exploration never faded. In 1959, he underwent rigorous training to become an astronaut, enduring more than 1,200 hours of flight time in jet aircraft and completing numerous test flights. When Glenn was selected as the first American to orbit the Earth, he faced intense pressure and scrutiny as the nation's hopes and dreams for space exploration rested on his shoulders. On February 20, 1962, Glenn successfully completed 3 orbits around the Earth aboard the Friendship 7 spacecraft, lasting nearly 5 hours. His calm and steady demeanor throughout the mission, as well as his famous quote, "0G, and I seem to be getting along fine," captivated the nation and inspired millions. Glenn went on to have a long and distinguished career in public service, but his legacy as a trailblazer in space exploration will forever endure. Number 3. Gus Grissom. Gus Grissom was an American astronaut and one of the original members of NASA's astronaut corps. He was a veteran of to space missions and the first astronaut to fly twice. Tragically, he was killed in a fire during a launch rehearsal for the Apollo 1 mission, which resulted in the deaths of all 3 crew members. Despite the tragedy, Grissom's contributions to the space program were significant, and his legacy continues to inspire astronauts today. Grissom's first space mission was aboard the Liberty Bell 7 in 1961, where he became the second American to be launched into space. He then went on to become the commander of the Gemini 3 mission in 1965, which marked the first time a spacecraft was docked in orbit. Grissom's experience and leadership were invaluable to the Gemini program, and he was selected to be the commander of the Apollo 1 mission. Unfortunately, during a launch rehearsal for the mission, a fire broke out in the command module, resulting in the deaths of Grissom, John Young, and Roger Chaffee. The tragedy led to major changes in the Apollo program, including improvements to the spacecraft's design and more rigorous safety protocols. Despite the tragic loss of Grissom and his crewmates, their sacrifice paved the way for future Apollo missions and ultimately led to the moon landings. Grissom's bravery, dedication and contributions to the space program will never be forgotten. Number 2. John Young. John Young was a NASA astronaut who flew on 6 space missions, more than any other astronaut in history. He was also the oldest astronaut to walk on the moon. In total, he logged over 8,000 hours in various aircraft and spacecraft and spent over 50 hours in outer space. Young's first spaceflight was as a command module pilot on the Gemini 3 mission in 1965, where he and Gus Grissom became the first astronauts to dock a spacecraft in orbit. He then went on to command the Gemini 10 mission in 1966, where he performed the first extravehicular activity, or EVA, in space. Young was also a member of the Apollo 16 crew in 1972, where he became the 11th person to walk on the moon. Following his retirement from NASA, Young continued to work in the field of space exploration, serving as a member of the Board of Directors for Space Center Houston and the George Bush Presidential Library and Museum. He was inducted into the International Space Hall of Fame in 1992 and received numerous other awards and honors. Young's contributions to space exploration are truly remarkable, and he is considered to be one of the greatest astronauts of all time. His bravery, skill and dedication to his craft have inspired generations of scientists and explorers. Number 1. Neil Armstrong. Neil Armstrong was an American astronaut and the first person to walk on the moon. He was born on August 5, 1930, in Wapakoneta, Ohio, and grew up with a fascination for aviation and space exploration. Armstrong graduated from Purdue University with a degree in aeronautical engineering and was selected as an astronaut by NASA in 1962. He trained rigorously for his mission to the Moon, and on July 20, 1969, he became the first person to set foot on the lunar surface. Armstrong's famous quote, "One small step for man, one giant leap for mankind," echoed around the world and inspired millions. Following his historic moon landing, Armstrong continued to work with NASA until his retirement in 1971. He then taught aerospace engineering at the University of Cincinnati and served as a professor emeritus at the time of his death on August 25, 2012. Armstrong was a true pioneer, and his contributions to space exploration will never be forgotten. He was a humble and dedicated individual who possessed the courage, determination, and intellect to achieve the seemingly impossible. Armstrong's legacy continues to inspire scientists, engineers, and dreamers around the world to reach for the stars and explore the unknown. We hope you enjoyed learning about these amazing astronauts. If you want to learn more about their incredible journeys, we'd recommend checking out the resources in the description below. Thanks for watching, and keep looking up.